So I'm thinking a few things as I've decided to go MGTOW in life. Now MGTOW means men going their own way. And for me that means that I won't have a relationship with a woman again in life. And I won't even have casual sex going forward in life. Now I'm thinking that this is obviously a cost for me in life, my enjoyment of life. But I'm also thinking that it's very liberating for me. And it means I have control over my life. And it makes me wonder why I focused on sex, achieving sex so much of my life. And I do realize it was nature doing its thing to get more people in the world. I think men should appreciate that more than they do generally, I'd say. Nature doesn't care about your enjoyment of sex. It's not of interest to nature. Nature wants babies. And so men desire women to have sex. And that is sometimes the end point for men. They want to have sex. They don't want to have children. But children result from sex even when the man didn't intend to have children. That's the way it goes. I'm thinking that men need to appreciate that sex is for making children. And that is it. It's not for pleasure, it's not for enjoyment of life. It is a functional thing to create children. I think if men appreciate this more, they'll be more controlled how they approach the search for sex. And they'll be in control of themselves and make better decisions. So when a man fancies a woman and he wants to get busy, it is nature controlling the man to get more people into the world, even if the man has no intention of creating more people. So I think it's important and useful in life for men to realize what sex is about. That sex is not about pleasure, it's about making children. And nature is interested in making children. Nature is not interested in men having a good time. I think this way of thinking can help a man gain better control of himself and make better decisions in life about who he has sex with. Because there are plenty of men who have sex with women who they're not interested in for any kind of relationship. They just want sex and think that will be the end of it. But men have to realize that sex very often is not the end of it. It's the beginning of the child making process. I don't know how many men out there are having children with women they do not want to have children with. But they did the deed and children result. Men often don't have control enough to use condoms, and there are issues anyway with enjoyment and pleasure and hassle factor of condoms anyway. So I do think it's important for men to realize what sex is about. Nothing to do with pleasure. That's incidental. It is to do with making babies. If men keep that in the front of their minds, I think they'll make better decisions about which women they have sex with. There are an awful lot of children out there who shouldn't really exist. They only exist because men have made bad decisions. I think that is worth noting, keeping in mind. and men should have good control of themselves. What I've learned in my time, I'm 48 now, I've had 2 children, so I've been there and done that regarding the sex game. I'm thinking, however, that now my marriage is finished. I don't know details due to memory loss caused by injury, but I'm single now, and the normal process would be to look to hook up with a new woman. But I have decided to go MGTOW now, men go their own way. And I don't know if there's a definition that's different to my understanding, but as far as I'm concerned, I won't have a relationship with a woman again, romantically. I won't have sex again, basically. And I'm wondering about this, and I'm realizing that I have been addicted to sex for the majority of my life. I'm realizing now, however, that I can forego sex, and it's not a problem for me. I don't miss it too much now. Basically, it's not a big deal to not be having sex. So as pleasurable as sex is, it isn't the end point, it isn't everything. But I do know that I treated it like it was everything for most of my adult life. I'm very glad now to be free of this addiction. I feel liberated and better in control of myself. I think I'll make better decisions and control my life in a better way. I don't want to have more children, and I don't want to catch some disease. So I'm thinking it is wise for me to have made this decision to go midterm. And I do think I can manage it. I don't feel like I'm missing too much, because as I say, I've been there and done that. I think men rate sex more highly than they should. And men should realize that it is nature doing its thing to get more people in the world. Men see sex as pleasure in itself, but pleasure has nothing to do with anything. Sex is about making babies. And nature has instilled within men a desire for sex. In a sense, men don't realize that they're being used to fulfill the purpose. And sex is the tool used to control men. So if men seek to control themselves, they need to lose the desire for sex, which is so intense in many men. Sex basically isn't all that. It is nice, but it is not everything. So try not to treat it as everything if you're a man. That way lies trouble and a life that many men don't want to have. It is important to have self-control and to put sex in perspective. It is good, but it is only so good. It is not everything, so try not to treat it as everything.